Hello everyone. Today we have Dr. Dinesh Khullar, Chairman, Nephrology and Renal Transplant Medicine at Max Super Speciality Hospital, Saket. He has more than 30 years of experience and he'll be sharing his insights on how does leading a sedentary lifestyle impact your kidneys.
Hello everyone. So as a nephrologist, we are finding that the incidence of chronic kidney disease is on the rise. It's a progressive disease. And we know that a country like ours cannot afford to spend too much of money on what eventually happens if a given patient gets chronic kidney disease. That means the survival will depend upon costly treatments like either dialysis or kidney transplantation. So the need of the hour is to prevent kidney diseases like it is true for all other diseases. Prevention is the essence, and we know the two most important causes of kidney disease in our country are diabetes and high blood pressure. Both are lifestyle diseases. To top it all, things like obesity, sedentary lifestyle, all these compound the problems for our patients. Coming back to the sedentary lifestyle, now this is responsible for all other causes which are responsible for chronic kidney disease. What I want to convey today is it's the lifestyle, the mismanagement, I would use the term, which accounts for majority of the cases of diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, and heart disease as well, cardiovascular disease. And they're all closely involved, associated with each other, which means a patient who has chronic kidney disease can well have cardiovascular disease as well, and vice versa. Now, how does sedentary lifestyle cause all this? Quite obvious. If you are not exercising, if you have a very easygoing lifestyle, you are inviting trouble. You put on weight on one hand, you are not burning calories. There is going to be something called insulin resistance, which causes diabetes. You are causing indirect effects of obesity to blood pressure, and finally it leads on to chronic kidney disease. Now, individually, all are responsible for chronic kidney disease, and then as well as indirect effects also account for the same. How does it happen? If one were to get obesity and becomes morbidly obese, typically क्या होता है, मोटापा आया और इस वजह से किडनीज के फिल्टर पे लोड पड़ा and they start excreting proteins, protein leakage start हो जाती है, which is now going to perpetuate kidney injury. Secondly, I had talked about obesity also resulting in something called इंसुलिन रेजिस्टेंस. हमारे जो पैंक्रियाज हैं वो इंसुलिन तो बना रहे होंगे, बट उन्होंने जाके पेरिफेरल टिश्यूज पे काम करना है, एंड देयर इफ यू हैव लॉट ऑफ फैट, they are not going to be effective. Insulin is not going to be effective, and finally we know the absence of insulin or the lack of action of insulin results in diabetes. 2. Thirdly, in patients में सोडियम रिटेंशन शुरू हो जाती है, हाई ब्लड प्रेशर हो जाती शुरू. किडनीज के अराउंड रीनल एडिपोसिटी हम बोलते हैं, किडनीज के अराउंड फैट जमा हो जाती है, and that also gives rise to something called inflammation, which means in crude words अंदर आग लगी हुई है, and that results in the start of the process called chronic kidney disease, which is a irreversible damage. धीरे धीरे करके पूरी तरह किडनीज को खराब करती है. Similarly, sedentary lifestyle अंदर कुछ ऐसे पदार्थ बॉडी में लाता है जो अगेन इन्फ्लामेटरी होते हैं, इन्फ्लामेटरी टू ईच एंड एवरी ब्लड वेसल ऑफ द बॉडी, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम हेड टू टो. ब्रेन अफेक्ट होता है तो हार्ट भी इफेक्ट होता है, एंड दैट इज व्हाई द हार्ट वेसल्स गेट क्लॉग्ड विद व्हाट इज कॉल्ड फैट एंड कैल्शियम, थिंग्स लाइक दैट, व्हिच इज कॉल्ड एथेरोस्क्लेरोसिस. और जैसे जैसे ब्लड वेसल्स नैरो हुई, you can imagine the blood supply to the heart itself is cut off, resulting in heart attacks, heart failure, heart की pumping कम हो जाती है. Now, very interesting thing, आप sedentary lifestyle व्यतीत कर रहे हैं, you're not using your muscles atrophy हो जाती है. And what medical science has shown is that जिस इंसान के muscle mass कम हो जाता है, kidney diseases ज़्यादा होती हैं. Whole lot of ways. We have explanations in medical science. We have explanations for each and every aspect, the way lifestyle behavior impact the kidney disease. But the end result is the direct correlation of sedentary lifestyle with chronic diseases, and chronic kidney disease is very important as far as this is concerned.
So now I'll be answering few questions asked by our audience. The first question is, are there any workplace strategies to combat a sedentary lifestyle?
Yeah, very important. So I think once we realize the importance of or the impact of sedentary lifestyle, और हमारा जो workforce है, हमारी जो nation's pride है, they're all doing their level best to take India to the next level. We've already witnessed that. But I hope this is not marred by a poor lifestyle. So what can we do? I think we now have to evolve. जैसे हम हर स्टेज पे प्रिवेंशन स्ट्रैटेजीज अपनाते हैं, हम स्कूल में बच्चों को बोलते हैं खेलिए, खूब खेलिए, एंजॉय लाइफ, पढ़िए भी, लेकिन नॉट एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ योर एक्सरसाइजेस. सेम काइंड ऑफ कल्चर आई थिंक शुड नाउ बी ब्रॉट टू द वर्क प्लेसेस. I think till the time we all collectively get sensitized to this concept that this is a very, very serious problem, sedentary lifestyle, we will not be able to take corrective measures. So what can we do? I think we should have breaks, dedicated breaks. I mean, काम में लगेंगे तो सुबह से शाम आ जाएगी, आपको पता नहीं लगेगा कब एक प्रोजेक्ट स्टार्ट हुआ. In your enthusiasm of finishing the work in time, your health takes a hit. आज अच्छा लगेगा कि आपने प्रोजेक्ट्स टाइम पे खत्म कर दिए हैं, but you are actually doing a lot of harm to your own body. If we have to have a long-term victory in your career and elsewhere, I think we have to take these kind of preventive strategies. So short breaks whereby these kind of habits are inculcated in everyone's mind, that आप उठिए, एक स्ट्रॉल करके आइए, स्ट्रेचिंग एक्सरसाइजेस करिए, घर से चले तो उससे पहले योगा एक्सरसाइजेस, brisk walk if it is possible. If your existing health allows, you must. I mean, nothing better than brisk walk, nothing better than yoga. A country which has taught yoga to whole of the world should not lag behind in imbibing the culture of yoga. That's on one hand. But once you have reached the workplace, I think the people who are the policy makers should have this kind of strategy in place whereby it becomes effortless for everyone to get involved in short and meaningful breaks which involve taking a small little bit of stretching exercise and strolls.
The next question is, can smoking affect the kidneys?
Oh yes, I think that's a very important message today. हम समझते हैं स्मोकिंग सिर्फ लंग कैंसर करती है, स्मोकिंग हार्ट डिजीज करती है. नो, वो तो करती है, लंग्स खराब करती है, अस्थमा, ब्रोंकाइटिस, ऑल दोस थिंग्स, एम्फीसीमा. हार्ट डिजीज करती है, लंग कैंसर सबने सुना हुआ है, और बड़े कैंसर करती है. बट लेट मी एज ए नेफ्रोलॉजिस्ट कॉशन यू, स्मोकिंग किडनीज को खराब करती है. स्मोकिंग, इमेजिन करें जब ये निकोटीन एक ब्लड वेसल के ऊपर अगर डाला जाएगा, द काइंड ऑफ कंस्ट्रिक्शन ये करती है. यू कैन इमेजिन व्हाट इज हैपनिंग टू द ब्लड वेसल्स एवरीवेयर इन द बॉडी इफ यू आर स्मोकिंग. सो अ बिग नो टू स्मोकिंग. And I think when we are talking about lifestyle modifications, the immediately what comes to mind is you should ask everyone to quit smoking, avoid obesity, lot of exercise, yoga, etc., etc. But yes, smoking, a big no.
The next question is there any limit to alcohol that can damage my kidneys, or it's just a myth?
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. In all fairness, alcohol in the right quantity may not have very serious repercussions to the health. But if we ever exceed that bare minimum, you are inviting trouble. So alcohol, again, we all know is bad for the liver. It can practically destroy the liver if it is not taken in the absolutely recommended quantities, permissible quantities, and which varies between females and males. But the message is, when you say social drinking is permissible, you should be able to define. You are talking about on a weekly level, a low level of alcohol consumption rather than daily consumption, which is definitely going to be detrimental. And it's not just about liver, it is about the GIT, the gastrointestinal tract, and whole lot of ill effects alcohol can have. And then one important message also is alcohol consumption. Alcohol is actually a drug. So if you are taking some life-saving drugs, remember, there could be interaction of alcohol with those drugs. There could be serious kind of drug interactions when you are concomitantly taking alcohol along with drugs. So एक दवाई जो आपको बचाने की कोशिश कर रही थी, अल्कोहल लेके आप उसके लेवल्स को कम कर रहे हो, हमारे टिपिकली ट्रांसप्लांट पेशेंट्स के लिए ये बहुत रेलेवेंट है.
The next question is, can obesity damage kidneys?
Yes, we've already talked about that. Obesity definitely can have direct effect on the kidneys as well as indirect effects. When we say direct effects, मोटापा आम बॉडी कोप अप नहीं कर सकती है. सो किडनीज के जो फंक्शनिंग यूनिट है उसको हम नेफ्रॉन्स बोलते हैं, ग्लोमेरुलस है, किडनी का फिल्टर है. मोटापे की वजह से उस फिल्टर पे जोर पड़ता है और फिल्टर हाइपर फिल्ट्रेट करना शुरू कर जाता है. उसमें से फिल्ट्रेशन ज्यादा होनी शुरू हो जाती है एंड धीरे धीरे प्रोटीन लीक होनी शुरू हो जाती है. विद एडवांसिंग टाइम्स दिस लीकेज बिकम्स मोर एंड मोर और फाइनली किडनीज को खराब करने शुरू कर जाती है. किडनीज का स्क्लेरोसिस हो जाता है. सो एक मेडिकल टर्म है जिसको हम बोलते हैं फोकल एंड सेगमेंटल ग्लोमेरुलोस्क्लेरोसिस, जो डायरेक्टली ओबेसिटी के साथ कंट्रोल्ड है, एसोसिएटेड है. इनडायरेक्टली, एज वी हैड सेड अर्लियर, ओबेसिटी की वजह से डायबिटीज हो गई, ओबेसिटी की वजह से हाई ब्लड प्रेशर हो गया, और इसी की वजह से डायरेक्ट कोरिलेशन हो गया कार्डियोवैस्कुलर डिजीज से. और एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात जो मैं फिर रिपीट करना चाहूंगा, ओबेसिटी का मतलब है फैट जमा हो गई एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ मसल्स. मसल्स कम हो गए, मसल्स आपको बचा रहे थे. एंड वी हैव सीन एंड डॉक्यूमेंटेड पीपल हु आर ओबीस हैव a profound inflammatory state in their body. Again, same मैं उदाहरण देना चाहूंगा. Inflammation means कि अंदर literally आग लगी हुई है. So उसको बुझाना है, ignite नहीं करना है. So we have seen लोगों में dramatic improvement होते हुए in their kidney diseases when they are able to lose their weight. All that we have to tell them when they come in a very very profound obese state is to lose 10% of their existing weight. कोई अगर 100 किलो पे हमारे पास आता है, हम कहते हैं आप 90 किलो के हो जाइए, you will see the difference. And we can show them, and that is why so many people get motivated. Unfortunately आजकल बहुत फैट आ गए हैं. किसी ने एक दूसरे से सुना, अरे मोटापा ठीक नहीं हो रहा, खाते रहो, एक सर्जरी करवा लो. Surgery, mind you, is the last resort, not the first. Please make it a habit to exercise, follow yoga, proper diet, and I think timely diet, and that also is extremely important to avoid obesity.
The next question is, should I undergo any specific test or screening to assess my kidney function considering my sedentary lifestyle?
Yes, very important. We say the same to all those people who are predisposed to have kidney disease, which means सबको मालूम है कि डायबिटीज की वजह से किडनीज खराब होती हैं, हाइपरटेंशन की वजह से खराब होती हैं, मोटापे की वजह से खराब होती हैं. टुडे द मैसेज इज इवन सेडेंटरी लाइफस्टाइल से भी खराब हो रही हैं. So this is a very pertinent question which has been asked. How do we know that the kidneys are affected? Very simple, very easy. And I would request all of you who are listening today to understand the importance of early screening, the ways to pick up early diseases, and then spread this message. How can we do that? Urine test. एक आसान urine test where we test for presence or absence of albumin in the urine. आपने एक यूरिन का टेस्ट करवाया जिसको हम बोलते हैं एल्ब्यूमिन यूरिया, यूरिन एल्ब्यूमिन क्रिएटिनिन रेशो. एक टेस्ट है, उससे भी पहले एक जस्ट रूटीन यूरिन, एक डिप स्टिक है, यूरिन में एक स्टिक डिप करके हम देख लेते हैं वो पॉजिटिव है कि नेगेटिव है। उसमें कलर चेंज से पता लग जाता है कि वो एल्ब्यूमिन है या नहीं है, ब्लड है या नहीं है। इससे आसान टेस्ट कोई नहीं हो सकता। साल में एक बार ही करवा लें। आज अगर क्लीन शीट है, रिलैक्स फॉर द नेक्स्ट 1 ईयर। तो दिस इज यूरिन, सिंपलेस्ट यूरिन टेस्ट। सेकेंडली, एक क्रिएटिनिन। हम जो भी खाते हैं उसके एंड प्रोडक्ट्स बनते हैं, ब्लड में इकट्ठे होते हैं और साथ ही साथ किडनीज उसको निकालती रहती है। Supposing the kidneys were not able to get rid of these impurities will tend to get accumulated in the blood. और इस एक impurity जिसका नाम है creatinine, उसको ब्लड में क्रिएटिनिन की वैल्यू से हमें पता लग जाता है whether the given patient has any kind of kidney disease. How simple? I mean, it could be done free of cost in government hospitals और maximum किसी costliest hospital में भी लैब में भी चेक करवा लोगे, ये 200 से कम में हो जाएगा। साल में एक बार ही 200 रुपीज, यूरिन टेस्ट में 100 रुपीज, एल्ब्यूमिन एक्सक्रीशन में another 200. I think it is worth spending about 500 rupees on an annual basis on your own self to figure out whether you have a kidney disease or not. And this is a very strong message. Please, it's a collective effort. Collective responsibility to ensure that we guide each other to get at least the annual tests, and this should happen even at the school level, because हम ये नहीं कह सकते हैं कि सिर्फ बड़ों को बीमारियां किडनीज की होती हैं, बच्चों को भी होती हैं। और जो आजकल लाइफस्टाइल हो गए हैं, बच्चे तो और भी ज्यादा अफेक्ट हो गए हैं। The childhood obesity, childhood diabetes, childhood high blood pressure is on the rise, and the same is applicable to them as well.
The next question is, are there specific exercises or stretches that can help elevate stiffness and discomfort from prolonged sitting?
Yes, that's important. एक तो physical fitness है, stiffness है कि आप बैठ गए हो, muscles आपके stiff हो गए हैं, लेकिन we as doctors are imagining the same thing happening to the blood vessels as well. So when you are exercising and the stretching exercises, the cardiac, so-called cardiac exercises are the ones which are strongly advocated, and gentle exercises. And please remember, it should not be an unaccustomed exercise in the first place, whereby you're exercising for something like half an hour without conditioning your body. So we always say go slow. अभी आज तक कभी आपने कोई एक्सरसाइज नहीं की है, मे बी जस्ट अबाउट लाइट एक्सरसाइजेस फॉर 5 minutes ऑल्सो ऑन द फर्स्ट डे आर गुड इनफ. ग्रेजुअली इंक्रीज, एंड आपकी कोशिश होनी चाहिए 40 minutes ऑफ ब्रिस्क वॉक. And by brisk walk we mean you should be able to cover 1 kilometer in 10 minutes. तो घर से निकलो, 20 मिनट चलो 2 किलोमीटर, 20 मिनट में 2 किलोमीटर आगे जाओ और 2 किलोमीटर वापस आ जाओ. You would have traversed 4 kilometers over a period of 40 minutes. You may take 1 hour to do that initially, but मैंने कहा eventually आपकी कोशिश होनी चाहिए not to become an athlete. There's nothing stopping you from doing that, but at least medically speaking, अगर आप ऐसी exercises कर लेते हो, और equivalent in terms of yoga, equivalent in terms of aerobic exercises, everything helps. But the bottom line is, please do exercise.
The last question we have is, are there any specific dietary recommendations for individuals with a sedentary lifestyle?
Yes, that also is important, and I think you will get a lot of wrong information also when you. So my advice is to, if you really want good advice, go to the good sites available on net, authentic sites which can guide you properly, or maybe consult a good dietitian. But what is important is, most of the things are common sense. We know that हमने carbohydrates को avoid करना है. जब किडनी डिजीज नहीं है किसी को, तो प्रोटीन रिच डाइट देनी है, नॉट अ सुपर रिच डाइट बट राइट बैलेंस. दिस इज कॉल्ड अ बैलेंस डाइट. थोड़ी फैट, एक परमिसिबल लिमिट से कम, हाई प्रोटीन एंड लेस ऑफ कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स, लॉट ऑफ फाइबर्स, लॉट ऑफ वेजिटेबल्स, लॉट ऑफ फ्रूट्स. सो दिस इज what really happens, helps. A heavier first 2 meals, which means breakfast and lunch, and a very light dinner. And the most important is not to go off to sleep earlier than 2 hours after having your dinner. Lot of liquids throughout the day, and I think these kind of habits, rather than some use of some fancy dietary plans You may have heard about Mediterranean diet as well. Well, I'm not going into those kind of nitty-gritties or controversies, but I think it's more of common sense, and I'm sure every educated person in this country is aware कि जब हम सामने देखते हैं कि ये अच्छा है या नहीं है.